Ecamm fam, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Marshall Creates with Ecamm. Happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day it is that you're watching this. If you're joining us live, welcome. It's good to see you. And if you're on the replay squad, hello to you as well. I don't know why my microphone arm just decided to not cooperate all of a sudden. I have the Elgato Wave arm. I know this short SM7B is kind of heavy for it, but for some reason today it just keeps sagging. So pray for me. I will pray for the mic arm. Let me check in with the fam. What is good, y'all? We got James in the building. What's up, my brother? John Michael Melendez. What is good? Welcome, 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 Mr. Moderator. It's always great to have you moderating. Paul, what is good? Oh, we got Dan in the building. Great to see you, Parker. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. It's great to see everybody. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Rainy Cajun. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm into the 5 panel caps. Like this one. This one's a little large to be honest, but it contains the fro, so that's a good thing, right? So I'll likely be alternating between the fro and braids. At least until I figure out whether I'm going to lock my hair or not. I told you guys I'm losing hair. Well, at least I think I am. My wife's like, it's just natural hair shedding. I'm like, it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot when I'm in the shower. We'll see. Getting older, y'all. I'll be 35 this year. I know I'm still young, but dealing with male pattern baldness for the first time. I'm like, okay, this is what it's like. Tatiana, great to see you. Brian David, what is good? It ain't over ministries. What's up, my brother? Great to see you as well. Yes, so this episode is going to be interesting. I know we typically talk about creating, right? I usually design something or show you a feature in Ecamm. So this conversation we're going to have today is exactly that. It's a conversation. We're going to talk about something that we deal with as creators. As you know, I'm a designer by trade. We definitely deal with it as designers. But whatever your field is, if you are in the business of creating, at some point you will likely deal with creative burnout. All right. So this is a topic I typically reserve for my inner circle or my coaching community. But I was like, you know what? Let me bring it to the Ecamm fam this week just because I'm super transparent. And this is something that I've been dealing with recently. And I've dealt with it so much that I kind of have some tips and tools and tricks that I use to combat it. You can't really get rid of it, but when you recognize what it is, when it starts to creep up, then you can address it accordingly. Okay. So that's something that I've gotten pretty good at, is addressing the burnout when it creeps up and rears its ugly head. All right. So that's what we're going to do today. It may be a bit of a shorter episode depending on how many questions we get, but I did want to address this. I felt like it was appropriate and hopefully it'll be helpful for you guys. All right. Paul says life begins at 40, but the warranty expires. Now that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, so I just wanted to break it down. And all this is not scripted, okay? So this is raw, unfiltered, right from my brain and my experience, all right? So what is it? What is creative burnout? So this is my opinion, okay? So use this as a guide, not gospel. You may you likely have dealt with creative burnout yourself. So you probably have your own definition and your own remedies for it, if you even have any. So just know this is from my experience, okay? So creative burnout is when you don't feel like doing anything related to what your main craft is, right? So in my case, it'll be something as simple as replying to an email, or something like I don't want to say meaningless, but like a trivial task, something that's super easy to complete. I can do it in a few seconds. I can do it with my eyes closed, but I reach a point where I just don't feel like doing anything. I feel demotivated. I don't feel creative. I'm out of ideas when it comes to creating, but it's not just limited to creating or what I do on a daily basis, which is design. It's like it could be anything. It's almost like some form of depression in a way, but more along the lines of your work and your creativity. You could have a brain fog or you could just be demotivated and not motivated to work on anything related to what you need to do. So the way it manifests for me is, like I said, like it could be something as simple as replying to an email. I don't feel like it. And there's something that I realized happens with most of us is your willpower depletes throughout the day, like every day. So at least for me, early on when I wake up, I have a lot of willpower. So I have a lot of energy. Then I'll have a lot of willpower as well. And when those two levels are at their max, then I'm in a prime position to get as much work done as at least the most work, that the most meaningful work. So the hardest work that I need to do every day, I'm more motivated to get that done when my willpower is at its highest and my energy is at its highest. But when you're experiencing burnout, there may come a time, at least for me, is I have a lot of energy early, but I won't have any willpower. I'll wake up with no willpower. So I don't feel like doing anything today. You know, I don't feel like doing a thing, and I have a lot of energy, but I just don't feel like doing anything. You know, you could be annoyed when people text you or email you, little things like that. You know, it could even manifest where, you know, your kids may be running around getting on your nerves, or you may be shorter with your kids than you typically are. Those are signs of you may just be burnt out. You may just be burnt out. Okay. So that's kind of how it manifests, right? At least for me, in my experience. And I want to talk a bit more. Just want to unpack it a little bit, okay? Talk about why it happens, and what you can do about it. All right, let me just check in. Got Dan. He says, we got you when we had creative burnout, so you're not allowed to have it. No, not at all. Look, that's a disclaimer. I do not get creative burnout from this, at least not yet. I don't, but not to say you won't from live streaming and creating. I need to tweak my settings. So I was on a Ecamm coaching call yesterday with a pretty dope client. And I was tweaking my picture settings on the fly. I need to bring them back down to where I like them. Picture looked a little too warm. So all right, cool. Don't the plants give you a creative juice supplement? No, they don't. I mean, I like the atmosphere, to be honest. I do like the atmosphere a lot more than I liked it in my home office in Maryland. So yeah, honestly, I do. But you know, so it's a fake plant. I would like to get a real plant. You know, at some point, I did. Y'all know I started off with a real plant when I started the season, but I had to destroy it because it was just way too big. Oh, it was way too big. So I got a fake plant, but it's not giving off. Its plastic isn't giving off any oxygen or like anything living. So it is what it is. So why it happens? So creative burnout can happen for a number of reasons. A lot of it is the fact that you may just be doing a lot. You may just be doing a lot. And what we do as creators, and like I told you guys, I'm a designer, is mentally exhausting. Coming up with ideas all the time, at least myself, designing, coming up with new designs over and over and over. It's like nonstop. The requests, especially like if you're in demand and your business is booming, the requests come in. I mean, that's what we want, right? That's what we want. We want our businesses to be thriving. But on the flip side of that, depending on how many people on your team and whether you are the one that does the heavy lifting in your business, the flip side is you can end up being burnt out because the requests always come in and something always needs to be done, right? So let me check. And Tatiana says, my partner and I had a big conversation really recently about a set time where I'm totally offline. It can be hard to put in a set boundaries when you work from home most of the time. Oh, look, you jumping ahead on me, Tatiana. But that's so good. That's so true. And that's so good. Right. So it can happen for a number of reasons. You may just be doing a lot. And that's another one. She alluded to it. Not setting proper boundaries, right? Not setting proper boundaries. And I will be the first to admit, I don't do a great job of this, right? I don't do a great job of this. So what is setting boundaries? That could be giving everyone your phone number, right? Your personal phone number, a way to easily reach you rather than sending them through more appropriate channels like email, for example, or project management system, you know? So with me, I'm guilty of that. I don't typically say I do a better job now than I did in the past. But I'm still not perfect. So, just to give you guys a little context about my business, my main business is a design business, and I primarily work with clients like via a retainer. So, and I joke and say I'm like almost like a Ray Donovan. I'm mostly a one man band. I have my guy, he's like my brother. My right hand man, his name is Joe. I've been working with him for probably 5 or 6 years. Right. So he does a lot more now than he used to do, but I do a lot of the heavy lifting in my business, at least the major things that need to be done, right? So I joke and say, "Look, I'm kind of like Ray Donovan. They call me when they need something big, something major, and I charge premium prices. And I guess I kind of use that as an excuse, especially when conversations I have with my wife, like, look, they're paying me these high fees for access. They're paying me these high fees to have to almost for me to be on call, right? So I try to justify it with that. Like I'm Ray Donovan. You know, if you guys have seen the show Ray Donovan, he's almost like they call him like a fixer, where somebody in Hollywood will do something crazy or almost be on the brink of a scandal, and he'll come in and try to smooth things over and clean it up. I won't get into the details because it is a an adult show. You know, it's not for kids, but you know, it could be. I don't want to get into what happens, but on the show, but you have to come in and clean up a crime scene, for example, and you like make it look like nothing happened. So they trust him. They bring him in to be discreet, to handle these things, so they won't get caught up in a scandal. So I kind of allude to that show and say, look, I'm like Ray Donovan. I come in, I handle it, and I get going. So I kind of use that as an excuse, but I realize that my boundaries aren't really set how they should be. So that's one reason. So when you don't have proper boundaries, clients, people who you work with, they feel like they can text you all hours of the night and during the weekend, and you're supposed to respond. Or you may feel obligated to respond to any and every request that comes in. Okay, so that's one reason it happens. It could just be life, right? Full transparency. I recently lost my cousin, passed away about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And also I was traveling to speak in Raleigh, North Carolina. Um, so it was a lot going on. We drove up there, like my whole family. Like we got hopped in the minivan and we drove there. So that was in a whole process, like that drive, right? We stayed overnight in Savannah. So we like did about 4.5, 5 hours, stayed overnight, and it was raining like crazy. Oh my gosh, it was nuts. Driving that night in the pouring rain. Went to speak. Well, found out my cousin passed. Had to speak the next morning, and then travel all the way back. And we did it all in one drive, like on the way back. We didn't stay overnight anywhere, so it was like 8, 9 hours. It ended up being like 10 hours once everything all was said and done. When we made a couple stops and whatnot. So dealing with all that, and then still having client work to do on top of that, that tends to pile up when you don't really take into account, let's say 20 hours worth of travel and driving and just what that requires of you mentally, right? So, and then knowing, okay, now since I'm a designer, I'm the resident funeral program designer. And I don't know if you guys know about black funerals, but we tend to do it up. We tend to do it up. We want the full magazine quality, all colors, not just a little program printed on 8.5 by 11. It's like full magazine quality. You want all the photos in the world, and everybody has to send in a tribute and words of comfort, and everything has to be decked out. It's just what we do. I don't, so. But the good thing is I've done this. It's a good and bad thing. I've done this so much that I have templates to work off of. I did it for my grandfather, did it for my other cousin who passed a few years ago. I did it for a couple other people. So I did have a template to work off of, but knowing, okay, now I have to do this funeral program, add this in to my list as I'm catching up on work. I was just burnt out. So, and you can tell, or if you're married or have a significant other, or your family is around, they usually can tell something's off with you. They're like, oh, you don't really seem totally present. what's going on? And I realized, you know what, this is just burnout. I'm doing a lot right now. The travel took a lot out of me. And then, just the emotions of losing a loved one as well, on top of, this task that's been added. But the flip side is, I try to stay positive. And look, I'm still here. I'm still living and breathing. So that's a blessing in itself, So, and I have to put things into perspective and say, look, it could be worse. It's not, look, this is light work for me. This is light work. I can't imagine, being my aunt who just lost her son, prematurely. So things could be a lot worse. So that helps as well. That's almost like a tip of how to how to put things into perspective. Um, how to deal with burnout is putting things into perspective, and putting a positive spin on it, right? And the positive spin is, look, I get to go home and see my family in Maryland next week, who I haven't seen in a while. I know it'll be a sad time, but at least I'll get to see my parents and my aunts and uncles and my cousins, my sisters, who I haven't seen in a while, right? So that's the positive spin. And shout out to Katie and Ecamm. You guys are probably like, well, why are you on here? This is the second week since he passed. I've been on here because work doesn't stop, and I actually really enjoy doing this. And like I said, my cousin's in a better place, to be honest. He's in a better place, and I'm excited about giving you guys this value and helping you with something that I just went through, because I know people deal with way worse things. You know what I'm saying? And we all deal with it in some form of fashion. So it's like, why not turn this into some lessons, right? Some lessons, because I've dealt with it a lot, not from situations like this, but just working with a lot of clients, saying yes to pretty much everything. So that, we're kind of leading into what you can do about it. So that's one thing. Stop saying yes to everything, y'all. You don't have to. And this is something, and my wife says I'm a people pleaser, and I will probably have to agree. Not setting boundaries, right? That's a sign of being a people pleaser. Taking on way more than you can handle, because why? I don't want to look like the bad guy. I try to avoid confrontation as much as possible. So, and I like being needed and wanted and in demand. So it's like, yeah, I'll do it, knowing, okay, I probably don't have the bandwidth. I probably need a bit more time. So, things like that. But saying no, and being firm with the no. I've gotten a lot better at that. But saying no to things, it's a ton of ways you can say no, depending on what you're dealing with at the time. But with me, it may be a new project. On one hand, it's like, oh, I could accept that project and make X amount of dollars. But on the flip side, it's like, okay, at what cost? Because it may sound good in the moment, but at what cost? So, everything you say yes to, you're saying no to something else. So you have to be really strategic about what you're saying yes to. So I try to evaluate every single opportunity from different angles. Like, how much time is it going to take me? What is it going to take me away from? What may I need to have to move around in order to compensate for this project? Do I really even have the bandwidth to accommodate it? Is it something that can wait? Right? Is it something that can wait? So, trying to say no. So I'm gonna check in with you guys first, and then I'll just tell you a few ways that I say no to folks, because I've gotten really good at it. You see. All right. Moderating me is exhausting. Paul just moderating me is exhausting. And everyone else is. You are a saint. That's hilarious. Yes. That's true. I appreciate that. Work can sometimes be a nice distraction. Yes, you're right. Yeah, every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to another. You have to be picky. Yes, absolutely. So here are a few ways that I say no. I always appreciate folks for thinking of me, because every time somebody reaches out to me for anything, whether it's to be for an interview, a guest on the podcast, shout out to Jeff. I'll be on his podcast on the 16th. Just a quick plug. But every time somebody reaches out, I'm appreciative, because they don't have to. They don't have to reach out. So if it's a project that someone wants me to work on, or let's say, hey, can you do some branding for me, or this graphic or that graphic, I'm highly appreciative. So I always thank them for reaching out. Like, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me. Thanks for reaching out. And I'll try to get more information. But if I don't think I can handle it, I'll let them know. Say, hey, look, either I'm not currently accepting clients right now, or I just don't have the bandwidth, or what is your timeline? When do you need this? Because sometimes clients can actually wait, or people you're doing. Let's say if somebody wants you to hop on a podcast for them. Say, hey, look, I'm not available this month, but can you pencil me in for next month? Can we set something up for next month? You just don't want to find yourself in a habit of just deferring and delaying everything, because all of that stuff is going to come due. If you really don't want to do it, don't do it. So I heard a saying, it's like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. All right. So unless you're like really excited about it, and for some opportunities, think about, is it really in alignment with your mission and your goals, right? So let's say, you get a podcast request or interview request. Ask them, who is their audience? What is their podcast about? You just don't want to be saying yes to everything, and then you go on a podcast. It's going to do more for them than it is for you. I mean, if you just got that kind of time, go for it. But if you don't, really think about, okay, is this going to help me just as much as it helps them? Like, who is the core audience? What I'm going to discuss, is it truly going to help them, and is it going to help me as well, right? So think about that. Just like that, another one comes in. Love to have you on my show. Problem is, I don't like people to work for free and give enough of your time for free. No, that's all good. Yeah, man, we'll evaluate it. We'll see. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for inviting me, Dan. We will evaluate it and see if it makes sense. And see if it makes sense. And that's all what it's about, man. Like, really just seeing if things make sense mutually. Making sure it's a mutual fit. I love that term, mutual fit. I even use that with clients, design clients. I don't just accept everything that comes my way to say, hey, I want to make sure it's a mutual fit. And it's not just about me, right? It's not about, if you're in the service-based business, it's not about you. It's about your client as well. It's about your client primarily, because they need your service. So that's why, I never want to come across like I'm too good for the client or this and that. It's like, I want to make sure we're a mutual fit. I want to make sure the budget is a fit, your expectations are a fit, and the timeline, like your required timeline, is a fit, right? So just ask them, hey, I might not be able to do it right now, but let's hop on a call and discuss and see exactly what you need. And if you do feel like I'm a fit and I feel like you're a fit, then we can discuss next steps. And the thing is, check this out, y'all. I had to learn this too. You saying no may be opening up a blessing for someone else. Think about it. I'm gonna let that marinate for a second, because I'm thinking about my situation as a designer. Requests come my way. I used to say yes to everything. Blair Enns, he's one of the GOATs in my space, right? He says there are 2 levels of success. The first level you get to by saying yes to almost everything. The second level you get to by saying no to almost everything, right? So I was that designer saying yes to everything. Oh, I need the money. I thought I need the money. I'm taking it. You got money for me? I'm taking it. Let's work. But, adding too many projects on my plate, stuff starts to slip through the cracks, not really accessing your bandwidth, not getting the help that I need. That's another quick tip that we're going to get into what to do. But get help, right? That's a huge one. Hold up, let me see. What pro mist filters are you using on your lens? I freaking love how that looks. I have to get it for you. I think it's a 1/4 Tiffin Black Pro Mist. I appreciate it. Yeah, so shoot, I got off topic. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was talking about getting help. Yeah, getting help is huge. Let's just go through the list of things that you can do, okay? I was talking about the blessings. That's what it is, y'all. As a designer, stuff will come my way. I would say yes to everything. But then when I started saying no, I would plug those leads in with other designers in my community as I started to grow my network. And there's one situation in particular where the client was like, man, I'm so grateful that you connected me with this designer. They're my person. They get me. They understand what I need. So I felt like a matchmaker. So I began to seek those types of opportunities. One of my goals used to be to make 6 figures as a designer. Now my goal is to give 6 figures worth of projects away. And what does that look like? It starts with you saying no, you passing off, you sharing the love, sharing the wealth with other people in your network. All right. So that's something that I really love to do these days. I recently started a community for designers. I had a free one, but now I have a paid like membership. So we have a job board in there where I'm going to be like, I get a lot of requests. So, and people know, I guess, based on my posturing and how I show up on social media, they know, okay, I don't think he's designing much anymore, but let me find out. So when they reach out, they say, hey, are you designing still? If not, who do you trust in your network that I could connect with for branding or a logo or website, et cetera? So I have a job board in that community that we just started, where I'll post those types of things. Okay. So what is it? It's me saying no board, right? It's a me saying no board. So me saying no frees me up for other things, more time with family, more time to work on my passion projects and things of that nature. So what else can you do to deal with burnout? All right. Writing. So these are things that I do, or I have done. So I'm just going to go through a brief list of the things that I've done. Okay. Writing, getting your thoughts out. So while I was dealing with this, I began to write. I realized, okay, I'm burnt out, but what am I going to do about it? Right. I'm not just going to sit in it and wallow in it. What am I going to do about it? Writing, right? Okay. Whether you have a journal, I recommend Day One. It's called Day One, DAYONE. It's a journal. I use that. It's online. Of course, you can just bust out pen and paper, use your Apple Notes or whatever, Evernote, Notion, whatever. Write. Get your thoughts out. What are you dealing with? Write it out. Get it out of your head and don't wallow in it. Because when you write, it literally comes out of your head. You write it down so you can look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. Now it's time to address it. All right. Not just sitting in it. Okay. That helped for me. And this is the beginning of this, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this in a video for my YouTube channel. And then when I was thinking, I was like, I'm bringing this to the Ecamm fam. That's what I'm going to do with it. Bringing it to the Ecamm fam. Okay. Talk to someone. I talked to my wife about it. Right. I talked to my wife about it. You know, she kind of knew something was off. And I said, babe, I think I'm burnt out. She said, you know what? I can see that. I told you. And she's like a prophet or something, because she told me, well, amongst the things that we were doing, we were getting ready to launch this membership community, and then all that happened, the travel. She said, I hope you're prepared, because it's going to be a lot. I said, babe, I'm fine. I got it. Next thing you know, I'm burnt out, coming to her like, babe, I'm burnt out. Help. But talk to someone. Talking with her really helped me decompress, right? So one of the ways I like to decompress is playing video games. I don't do it often, but I'm getting back into it. My wife and I, we play zombies on Call of Duty. We've been doing it for probably since 2010. So probably 13 years we've been playing zombies, and we play the same couple boards. But it's just fun to hop on with her, and I'm usually making some type of terrible mistake or on there that just cost us the game. So the point of the game, just so y'all know, is just for context, is like there are waves of zombies that come. So the first wave, you got to survive. It's like probably like 8 zombies. The next wave is like 16, and it doubles, and you just go as long as you can. And then it gets really intense. And at some point, I'll make a dumb decision, because they have these different power ups that you can run and get. And I'll like just jump off the catwalk we stand on to run and try to get a power up, and then get ambushed. And then she's like, but it's so fun. It's just fun to do it together with her, right? So take a long shower, y'all. Take a long shower, pamper yourself, take a bath, light some candles, something, just treat yourself, pamper yourself a little bit, okay? Get out of the house, go for a walk, go to the park. We have a little park in our community, several houses down. So just go for, you could, depending on where you are, just go for a walk, right? To decompress. Look at God's green earth. Look at the beauty. I know some of you may live in cities and stuff like that, but just go out, look at the clouds. All right. Get help. That I alluded to that before. Getting help. So you may have people that you're connected to, depending on your business, or just in general, that you may need help with. Maybe it's your somebody to help watch the kids. With us, down in Florida, we don't really have a babysitter. Right. But it's something we could do is, what, let's have a date night. My wife and I, let's get someone to watch the kids and let's go out. Right. Get help. If it's business related, I'm thinking about my guy, Joe. Let him know, hey, man, I'm going to be MIA for a day or two. You mind, working on X, Y, or Z? I know you typically do X, but can you work on Z as well? You mind just working on this for me, helping me out with this while I decompress for a couple of days. Usually, yeah, absolutely, I got you. If you're at a job and maybe someone else, you just ask for help, because mental health is huge, y'all. Taking care of your of this is vital, because if you don't and you just allow yourself to continue to be burnt out and ran over, then you're gonna end up quitting. And we don't want you to get to a point where you quit, okay, or give up. Communicate. Tell people you need a couple days. You need a couple days. You just, you don't even have to explain it. Say, look, I just need a couple days. You mind? I know I said I get this back to you by then, but I'll have it back to you by then. Is that okay? Just communicate. That's something I had to learn as well, because I'd be dealing with a whole bunch internally and just with my own business and stuff, and I wouldn't communicate. But I found that people appreciate communication, and it's a quick nugget for anybody who does anything service based, or if you are a designer, really anything. My wife, she's the one that helped me with this. To just let them know, they would appreciate it. They're like, oh, thank you so much for the update. Absolutely. There's no rush. Usually it's bigger in our minds. We make it bigger in our minds than it actually is. We may think it's a huge deal that, we may need a couple more days, but it usually isn't. They're like, you know what? That's absolutely fine. No rush. Take your time. I'm good. It's usually like that. That's usually how it goes, right? Work on something personal, a hobby, a passion project, right? Work on something personal, because that's honestly what happened with me. Everything I was dealing with my cousin, and knowing that, okay, now I got to do the funeral program, and I'm backed up on work. I can't get to what I really want to get to, which is my content, which is, helping to get ready to start this membership community. So that's in the back of my head the whole time. Like, I just wish I had the time to do that. So just taking a little bit of time to decompress, work on something personal, even if it's an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, right? Work on something, scratch that itch, y'all. Just go ahead and scratch it. Be a little selfish for you for a little bit. Don't be apologetic about it, because this is going to help you in the long term. This is going to keep you in the game for the long term. Okay. Work on something personal, because you'll feel a lot better. It'll put you in a much better mental state for not only you, but your clients, right? And your family and everybody around you. But they're going to get a better product when you do resume, because you're in a better mental state and you're not working on their stuff burnt out. So go to sleep. Start over tomorrow. So you know what? Today one, I'm gonna go to sleep. But I know when I wake up, I'm gonna have a different outlook. I'm gonna be full of energy. Speak life into yourself. Okay? I'm gonna have a different energy. I'm gonna attack the day. I'm not gonna let the day attack me. All right, that's a big one. And try to get some proper rest. A lot of us, especially myself, I try to get up early. But those, we call it sleep debt. You get 5 hours of sleep. You may not think it's a big deal today, but 3 days of 5 hours of sleep, that's 15 hours when you're supposed to get 16 hours for 2 nights. So that sleep debt accumulates and you don't realize it. And you waking up like, why do I feel like this? I'm lethargic. I don't have any energy physically or mentally, because you got some sleep debt built up. Take a day and get caught up on your sleep. You're going to feel a lot better. Okay. And get a laugh in. My wife and I, we love stand-up comedians, and we're hard on them. So it's like we pride ourselves on finding the best comedians, right? And we love this show called The Neighborhood. It's Cedric the Entertainer. You guys are probably familiar with him. It's called The Neighborhood. We just love that show. It's like, it's wholesome. It's it's appropriate for all ages and all of that. Not that we don't enjoy our feel of Kings of Comedy type comedy as well, but that's just a good, they have great writers on that show. It's called The Neighborhood. I believe it's on CBS, but we watch it on Hulu or Prime or one of those. But getting a good laugh, that'll kind of help to take your mind off of the stuff, right? The stuff. So those are my tips, y'all. But feel free to share your own tips in the comments. How do you deal with burnout? Have you dealt with burnout? If you haven't, that's great. But I used to deal with burnout every year in September until I really got a handle on it. And then I haven't, honestly, it's been about a year and a half almost 2 years, if not more, than I've really been burnt out until recently. And I was like, oh, I know this feeling all too well. So let me go ahead and get out my put my suit of armor on, right? And deal with this. You gotta deal with it head on, y'all, because it can really turn into like serious depression. Um, it could go on for days, if not weeks. But the thing is, you just want to protect your mental. And check this out. This is another tip. I'm just adding this on the fly. Chat GPT, AI, stuff like that. Use those tools to help you with your daily tasks, help you with your list. I actually chat GPT'd some tips right before this, just in case. Let me look at that list and see what's on there that I didn't cover or maybe helpful as well. Take a break. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's on the list. Setting boundaries. We kind of talked about that. Seeking inspiration. I like that tip. Practicing self-care. I did hit that one. Collaborate with others. Yeah, I would say I checked that list. Setting realistic goals. Oh, that's cool. I like that. It says avoid setting overly ambitious or unrealistic goals that may lead to burnout. Break down larger projects into smaller. Yeah, we kind of know about that. That's good. I'm guilty of that, y'all. Setting some unrealistic goals. I have my whole day planned out or my whole week and say, I'm going to get all this done on my list no matter what, only for the week to go by and I get maybe half the stuff done because I didn't account for the unknowns, the intangibles, the stuff that just comes up that you can't avoid, right? Thinking about the funeral program, I'm like, oh, I got a template. It's going to be super easy. But then, the changes come. Okay, we want to add this picture or this family member is going to get upset if you do this with that photo and don't include that photo. And okay, now we got to make sure we get it to the printer in time so they can print it. And who's going to pick it up? Who's close? So it's a lot of intangibles you don't really think about that adds time to your day. I can have a schedule planned out to a T to the minute, only for it to get derailed. And what does that do? It pushes what you wanted to get done today to the next day. So something that I do, and we talked about it during the productivity hack video, is I try to get up early so I can get my most labor intensive work done early as possible. So it's not big tasks that are getting pushed to the next day. It may be smaller things, right? And I could get other people to help me with that, to be honest. So let me see. Experiment and explore. Challenging yourself to try new approaches, techniques, and content formats. That's cool. I like that. Seeking support and feedback. I like that tip. And reflecting on your purpose. Ooh, that's a good one as well. Thanks, ChatGPT. Remind yourself why you started creating content in the first place. Reflect on your passions, values, and the impact you want to make through your work. Reconnecting with your purpose can rekindle motivation and help you overcome burnout. Remember, creative burnout is normal, and it's essential to be patient and kind to yourself during the recovery process. I like that. See, ChatGPT, it's already got me in a better mood just because it gave me some tips that I didn't necessarily think about myself. But yeah, use help, y'all. Use help. Use the amazing tools and resources that we have available to us. And you're going to be okay, y'all. We all in this thing together. We in this content thing together. We in this life together. We on this world together. Okay, that hashtag together. All right. Grind don't stop. Facts. But sometimes we need to stop it. Favorite comedians. Ooh, girl, you asked one there. So my favorite comedians. Cedric the Entertainer is definitely one of them. Earthquake. Bill Bellamy is one of my favorites. Tracy Morgan is one of my favorites. Nate Bargatze is one of my favorites as well. It's Bargatze. Jim Gaffigan. Sebastian Maniscalco. Who am I missing? And there's probably some lesser known comedians like Raymond Grady that I like. Carlos Miller is Karlous Miller. Oh, you know what? I sent a friend of mine a list because he's not up on his comedians. So let me just check this list real quick. So I can get you guys the list because this will help. Look, if you have your special Marshall comedian list from when you deal with burnout, I'll be honored. Okay. Dion Cole, that's another good one. David Arnold, may he rest in peace. One of the best, probably in my top 5. I'll say top 10. recently passed away. Barry Brewer, find him on Prime. Dion Cole, Lil Rel, Howery, Rob Stapleton, Capone. Yeah, so I know that was a lot. My man said Fluffy. Who's that? That's he was just on The Neighborhood. Gabriel Iglesias, I believe his name is. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. I was like, I'm hard on comedians though, so I don't think he's in the top 10 for me. Um, his stuff is you get a chuckle in my opinion. You get a chuckle from him. TK Kirkland. Oh, I have to add that to the list. Let me look him up. I have to add that to the list to look him up. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful, y'all. Let me know what your thoughts, how you deal with burnout yourselves. But the number one thing to remember is that it's normal. It is normal. You're human. You're a human being. You're not a machine. You aren't an AI. At least not yet. So it's normal to have these types of emotions. You may feel the pressure to show up all the time on social media, right? Show up all the time on YouTube. But sometimes you don't, be okay with not, right? Especially with me and what I do. Pretty much all my clients have huge followings, right? There are a lot of people in my network that are all on social media all the time, posting all the time. I'm just starting to get more consistent with it, but it would be easy for me to succumb to that pressure of like, yeah, I just need to post every day and three times a day and show up just so I can have as many followers as they have. But I'm okay with not doing that. It may sound blasphemous. It may sound crazy. I'm okay with not being on there all the time. Really depends on you, your goals, and your own business. Okay, so keep that in mind. I know it's a lot of pressure out here. Yeah. Okay. Hey, says who raised you? Oh, see, dang, is it that crazy? Hold up, TK Kirkland. I've never seen his stuff, man. I've never seen his stuff. I don't even think I've seen him. I may have. I may have. Oh, is one of his phrases? I thought you were saying who raised me. Like, how do you not know about TK Kirkland? Um, I'm gonna look him up though. I'm gonna look him up, put him in the burnout survival toolkit. Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, I told you guys it would be a bit of a shorter episode. Let me know if you have any questions for me. I know we deviated a bit from the usual fanfare, the usual topics. But just a heads up, y'all. Next week we will not be having an episode. I'm traveling to the funeral, and then I have to come back and prepare for a speaking engagement in Atlanta. So it's a bit busy next week, but I will be back the following week. So you got a week off from me. Do with that what you want. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully have a great week next week. Hope everybody avoids burnout. Come back to this video, y'all. If you need, just bookmark it. If you need some tips, hopefully you took some notes. But like I said, it's normal. We all in this thing together, and we got each other's back. All right, you'll get through it. I got you. Look, I appreciate that, Hank. I appreciate that, man. Hope all is well with you, man, and your studio. Hope you're getting rebuilt, better than ever. Okay. Look, I appreciate that, Dan. Truly, truly. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, y'all. Look, that's why I love the Ecamm fam, because y'all know y'all have my back and get nothing but love from you guys. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. Hopefully, you guys are getting value from these videos because I enjoy making them, and I got some new ones I'm working on as well that aren't live. So, just make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button while y'all are still here, please. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right. Peace.